Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this edition, this webinar. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the R Masterclass for, okay, thank you so much for joining this call. We have our participants dialing in. Glad to see everyone on the call. Please, if you know anyone else who should, please, you can just send them a reminder. Just wait a couple more minutes and then we'll get started right away. Okay. All right, good day everyone once again, and welcome to this masterclass. We are glad to have you all joining this session. This class will be facilitated by my amazing colleagues who are world-class experts in the R programming language, and I'm sure that we are going to have an exciting time learning together. So before we get started, we'll just run you through an introduction to who we are at Data Science Nigeria and what we do. So Data Science Nigeria is a registered non-profit organization, and we have a vision to build a world-class AI knowledge, research, and innovation ecosystem. And this to build and deliver high impact and transformational research, business use applications, AI-first startups, employability, and social good use cases. And the idea is that in 10 years, Nigeria becomes one of the top 10 AI talent knowledge destinations with a 20% GDP multiplier impact. And the good part of all this is if you check to our social media pages, our YouTube channel, you see our attempt and our contribution to making this possible. And the whole goal is to build 1 million AI talents in the next 10 years. Join us to make this possible. So here are some of our achievements over the last few years. Our Artificial Intelligence for Starters free ebook has had over 1 million downloads. We've had over 95,000 YouTube views in our online classes that we ran between March and May during the COVID lockdown. We've had over 3,000 hours of face-to-face free classes across the country. data science and machine learning. Over 300,000 YouTube views, over 100 days of machine learning that takes you learning the machine learning from the beginner to the expert level. We've also had over 2,000 participants in our data science courses from registration to at least a class. Also, our AI knowledge box is available, which contains content curated from top universities in an external drive, which is our approach to delivering content where there's no internet accessible. This is available in our AI communities across the country. We also are humbled to have won the #1 Artificial Intelligence Award in Africa, the Mathai Impact Award, from our hundreds of thousands trained via online, offline, face-to-face, and content development, job placements, and just our massive contribution to the entire continent of Africa. Yeah, just last year, we also won the best poster at an academic event, funny, at the 21st ACM Conference on Economics and Computing. This is the world's premier conference on the interface of economics and computer sciences. And we are so humbled to have won the best poster award in that event. We are also the only African finalists in the X Prize competition, right? The ongoing X Prize Pandemic Response Challenge. We are the only African finalists. This is so amazing, and we are so glad to be able to represent the entire continent on this platform. Here are our achievements again. We are also humbled to run the biggest and the largest learning platform across the country with 30 unique platforms that empower hundreds of thousands of people to learn AI, data science, machine learning across the country, from beginners to professionals and C-level executives. You can see our face-to-face, online, offline content and hands-on, such that end-to-end, from a starter to an expert, there is something for you to learn. And here we are having on this Masterclass one of these engagements as well. We also run the biggest AI bootcamp in Nigeria. Yes, the most competitive AI bootcamp, where we have the best international experts come and teach the best in Nigeria, machine learning and data science. Right here in this image, we have Professor Thomas Dietrich, one of the founding fathers of machine learning today. And here where it was in the last face-to-face bootcamp we had just in 2019 live in Lagos, Nigeria. We also scale up professionals. We've trained companies like Shell, FCMB, Huawei, and these are just some of our cross-section from our business analytics training as well. My colleague Shion take more on this later when it comes up. We also run free trainings at our AI Hub, as well as our AI Plus for Kids and Teens community. Our AI Plus for Kids and Teens community, we have our AI Plus Club for schools, which is our approach to bringing in the kids into AI, Python, machine learning. We launched the first AI book for kids and teens in Africa. And we are so amazed and so excited about this. You can get the book. My colleagues can drop the links to get this book that has received so much international recognition in the chat window. Here are some snippets from the book. And this book, we also run 3 distributions across the country on this. Okay, so you can visit this website to see our annual report, follow us on social media, and please tag your experience as you go through this class and the sessions. So welcome once again. Right now, I will hand over to my colleague Oluwaseun, who will brief us on some of our opportunities and the platforms we have for professional training. Over to you, Seun.
Thank you so much for me. Just to confirm that you can hear me. You can hear me. Please, you can confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Awesome. So I'll just share my screen briefly now. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this masterclass. Today, I'll just quickly run us through the opportunities or our corporate trainings. We've won one of the biggest, like from just discussed or explained that we are the largest artificial intelligence learning and solution delivery network in Africa, right? And we, apart from the free trainings that we are running, which also includes this, we also run corporate trainings for professionals who are looking to develop a career in the field of data science and artificial intelligence, right? And basically our vision is just to be able to catalyze people and then be able to position them well to access the skill needed to begin to to work in the to translate into the industry for data science and artificial intelligence. And one of the reasons why you should consider taking your corporate trainings or in data science Nigeria is that number one, just as Fumi mentioned, we are the biggest AI learning and solution delivery network. We are also a non-profit. That is to say that every income we make from the training goes back into talent development for the ecosystem. We have also world-class and experienced tutors who have hands-on project consulting experience with the top organizations in the world, including Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Mastercard Foundation, uh, Butner Foundation, even the Lagos State government. Right? We also run the biggest AI talent sourcing platform. That means that if you go to our trainings, right, you go into our talent platform, and then whenever there are opportunities for jobs, we would always contact you first because we understand that you've gone through our system and that your capacity can be tested and can be verified. These are some of the organizations that we've also been able to train: Shell, FCMB, Huawei, IHS. There's just a lot of them. We've also been able to train Aximanzed and the Nigerian Army. Right. So our training is basically are categorized into four major parts. Right. We have professional hands-on training. We have industry-specific training, trainings regarding the, for example, the finance industry, the marketing industry. So several kind of trainings that are really really specialized on industries. We also have trainings as well, and strategy trainings and overall management trainings for managers and top level executives. We also have global certifications as well. And some of the our training approach, you already know that, it's already always project based, interactive, hands-on, and industry specific as well. There's always capstone projects, and every time you come to our to the on-site training, you always have free internet for you to use, and then you also have access to um, cutting edge knowledge from our knowledge box that for me basically ran through basically. And so apart from that, we do only just we are not just concerned about imparting knowledge. We are also very much concerned about what happens after the training. And one of the major things that happen after the training is that we enroll you into the biggest AI community that there is, or the fastest growing community on AI and data science in Africa. You're enrolled into that means that you're going to develop networks around data science and around AI, and you can learn and grow together as a group. Also, I mentioned that already. You get enrolled into the talent pool. You're also aware of make you aware of projects and internship opportunities at Data Science Nigeria. We're also going to because we also facilitate a whole lot of hackathons, both local and international. So you get also to be part of that. Also, if you want to also further your study and you need someone to actually mentor you or sit down with you, personalized training, you could also have access to that. And also you can have access to our knowledge box, which contains over 15,000 learning videos and data sets from the top schools around the world. Right, so these are some of the courses that we currently take. You can go on our website www.datasciencenigeria.org/training to get more of this information. But most of our recent upcoming trainings involve data visualization. We're starting actually tomorrow. You also have a deeper dive into OW data mining with OW, starting also on April. So I would encourage all of you to really go that uh, to really register for that course starting on the 3rd of April. Also, we have the business and data analytics course, which is one of our most in demand course. It also goes for 100,000 naira. So you can just go and register for these courses, and we'll reach out to you. And if you have any other information, just please feel free to reach out to me. The contact information is there, and we'll be happy to answer your questions and then be able to direct you appropriately. So thank you so much. Therefore, hand over now to the team to take over from me.
All right. Thank you so much, Sheon. Thank you, Fumini. And thank you all for joining today's our webinar. Let me share my screen. All right, great. This is our programming. So let's get started. All right. So today we'll be learning how to program in R, which will help us to explore opportunity. Okay, so first of all, let us meet the speakers. So here, I am Ezekiel Adebayo. So we both teach you our programming today. Okay, so you can learn about what we do on our Twitter handles and also try to follow DSN on this Data Science Nigeria handle. Good. So our programming is cool. So if you have used a programming before, like Python, so our programming will be easier for you. But if you don't have any knowledge in any programming before, this is the right place to learn it. So here we are. I always like to start our class by showing this our great man, Dr. Olubayo Adekambi. So he's a passionate user of R. And we also have this man called Adlewika, is the chief data scientist at R Studio. So Adlewika, all of you in this training have already installed Tidyverse. This is the author of Tidyverse, that is Adlewika. Okay, so these are the table of content that we are going to do today. First of all, we look at the history of R. Then we look at how we can use R for data science. We see how we can do various calculations in R. We see what is variable or assignment. And we also see basic data structure in R. And then we do summary. So if time permits, we show you how to use R in the real data science project. So first of all, what is R? R is a programming language which can be used for statistical analysis. So R is widely used among statisticians and data miners. So in year 2020, R celebrates the R version 1.00. And currently we have a lot of different R versions, but now we have 4.04, in which I believe all of you have installed that. And other thing about R is that for every version that R produced, they always have a nickname. So the nickname for this version 4.0.4 is called Lost Library Book. It's interesting, right? All right, great. So this is the interface of R. So majority of you have started using this interface, but I would like you to start using R Studio. So what is R Studio? R Studio is an IDE, which is integrated development environment for R. So R Studio makes programming in R so easier and friendly. So now this is the interface of R Studio, and the current version of R Studio is 1.4.1106. All right, great. So we have editor, console, output, and the environment, so which I will show you later. By now, and we have also installed R Studio. So there are many companies that are using R. For example, look at Facebook, Mozilla, KBand, and many other companies. So which means that R programming is a good thing to learn, even if you have used maybe Python or any other programming languages before. All right, great. So how can we use R for data science? So we all know that data science is a field in which you get insight and knowledge from. So the goal of this class is to help you learn the basic fundamental part of R programming. So data science has like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 phases. So first of all is importing data. You know that without you having data, you cannot do anything called data science. So what will happen after you have imported your data into R? The next thing is to look at it, examine it, clean it. If possible, you visualize some variables to see what is going on there. And you can also create some modeling, and also you communicate the findings or results to those people that are looking for it. All right, so we have all these learning materials for you to learn R programming. So first of all, I will say that you should go to our YouTube channel, which we have our programming from scratch. I believe all of you have already, watching that YouTube video. So speaker, recommend this book. It is called Young. I've studied it, and I believe the book is a great work. That is authored by Adley Wickham and the other guy, which I forgot. Go free book, so you can look at it. All right. So let's see how we can use R for calculator. But before we use R for calculator, let us see the interface of R Studio. Please, if you can hear me, let me see from the chat area. Just say yes on the chat area if you can hear me clearly. All right, great. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so this is R Studio. Okay, you might be asking, why are we using R Studio and not ordinary R? Okay, so I believe some of you might have opened R. You see that the interface is very ugly. It's not fine. But this IDE enables us to enjoy our programming in R. First of all, when you open the R Studio, you might not have these 4 interfaces that I have here, the 4 windows here. Okay, so just come to this guy here, the plus here, and click R script. So when you click R script, then you'll be able to have these 4 windows. So let me close it. All right, so what is it? What is here, and what can we do in this place? So this place is called R source. Okay, other people might call it R script. So this is where you write your script. For example, X is equal to maybe 5. Okay, then you run it. How do we run it? So you can click on this guy, run. So once you run it, it will run on the console. This is what we call console. This is the engine, okay, that powers this. All right. You can actually do your coding here. For example, D is equal to 5, or let's say 7. Then just in this place, in the console, you can just press enter. All right, I can get the value by calling. How can we get this symbol? All right. Okay, to get that symbol, just press Alt minus on your computer. And if you are using Mac like me, just press Option and minus. Then you have this sign. So you might be asking, why are we using this sign and not ordinary assignment sign? Okay, so we are programmers. We always like to use this sign. Even though if you use this one, it will still work. For example, F is equal to 19. Okay, to run this, you can just press Command Enter, or you press Control Enter on your keyboard. Don't forget, you can also use Run to do that. Now, if you do your coding under the script, if you do your coding under the console here, the problem is that you will not be able to save your script. As you can see now, all that I have here, I won't be able to save it. If I want to send the result to Olawale, my colleague now, I won't be able to send this script to him because I have my coding here. But if I do all the coding here, whatever I do here, I can easily save it by coming here, go to the file, click on Save As or Save. Okay, look for the directory. Let me see, I want to save to my desktop. I have a folder called R Webinar here. Then I can title it. Okay, my first R script, for example. All right, then you click on Save, and that's all. So automatically you see that it has been saved. And the extension of this R script is .r. Okay, great. So here is where you can visualize. Okay, as you can see, we have plot. So if I plot anything here, it will show here. So the files here is for you to maybe get access to the directory on your computer, different directories like desktop. If I click here now, you see all that I have in my desktop. If I click on document, you will see everything that I have on my document and many more. So while the plot here will show your graphical representation of the data or the visualization of the data. For example, let me do something on my script here so that you can see what I'm talking about. Let's say I want to plot the scatter diagram of, let's say, the first one to be 1 to 10, and then another one to be maybe 10 to 1, for example, 10 to 1. All right. So if I press Control Enter, you will see the visualization here. So this is the reason why we are using R Studio. If you are using ordinary R, a window will come up, okay, for this visualization. But in the R Studio, everything is in one place. Okay, let me consider the chart. What are people saying here? Very interesting. So now for the packages, okay? So by default, R has a lot of packages being, pre-installed for you. But if you want to do some advanced analysis, you have to install your own package or the package that is needed for that job, okay? I will show you how to do that one later. I believe that already you even know how to do it because I've taught you in our communication channel. So if you want to, maybe you need help from R Studio, okay? Maybe you are doing something, for example, now plot. You don't know what this function does. Okay, how can you get help for this? So you just press Shift and question mark, then you type plot, all right? Then you can now press Command Return or Command Enter to see what that plot does. As you can see, it's telling me that help on topic plot was found in the following package. So just click on any of them and you will see what plot does. So we have a lot of functions in R, okay, because R is a functional programming language. Now, viewer, so let's say you want to view some tables, okay, you can easily do it here with a lot of maybe adjustment in some settings, so which will allow you to see the stuff here, the object here. So for example, let's say you know about R Markdown, you can display the source of your R Markdown on this instead of having another window, coming up for you. Now in this place, we have environment. So this is where you will see the history or the objects that you have in R. For example, here, as you can see, I have X, I have F, and I also have, I think I ran D on this console, and everything is here. For example, I assign 7 to D. As you can see, yes, I have D, 7. So for F, as you can see, F is equal to 19. So I have F19 here. So this one will show you those objects that you have in the R environment. So for the history, all the code that I've been running since morning, okay, everything will be shown here. So connection here is for, let's say you want to connect to SQL. That is the main reason why you must learn R programming. R is very, very simple and can allow you to do a lot of things that maybe other programming may not allow you. Sorry for those people that are using Python. Okay, so we also have tutorial here. Okay, if you want to learn something about R Studio, you can just come here. If you want to learn something about Learn R package, you can come here. So we have a lot of stuff in R. And you can also play with all this menu. Here we have file, we have edit, we have code. It has a lot of menus. You can come to plot, to zoom plot, a lot of stuff. Session to terminate out, to restart out, set working directory. And then you can also come here to play with the global option. For example, here, come to the tools, come to global options. From here, you can change your theme. As you know that in your own, your R Studio theme will be white, okay? But it's not good to be coding in a white background because of your site. So therefore, you have to change your themes. So how do you do that? So you can just come to the appearance here. As you can see, here we have our studio theme. You can change it to whatever you like here. Here I'm using modern. Okay, my zoom is 90%. If I want, I can increase it to 100%. All right. I can also change my font. Okay, here I'm having Monaco. If you like, you can change to any other fonts here. Then this is the font size. Okay, I believe that everybody is familiar with all these font and font size. So you can just change it to the font size that you like. And here we have a lot of themes. So you see, if I change it to tomorrow now, you see how it looks like. But I always like to use twilight, this one. Okay. After that, you can just click apply and click OK. So that is it. The good thing about R Studio is that it also gives you access to use Python in R with the help of reticulate package. As you can see here, I have Python. So automatically it has shown me the directory where I have installed my Python. For example, I have Anaconda here, so I can use Python directly in R. So it's not advanced. Okay, you can easily do that, and we have used different syntax in Python without together. Okay, so that is it. That is why you don't need to be fighting which one is better. Is it Python? Is it R? Which one should I learn first? Is it Python? Is it R? You can actually learn
All right, so just hold on for a bit while Ezekiel restarts the screen sharing. Yes, so the recording of this session will be available for everyone right after the session to be updated on YouTube. Thank you. All right, so we'll just take a short break now while we wait for Ezekiel to come back up.
Hello, I'm back. Hello. Yeah, thank you. Sorry for the disturbance in the network. All right, great. So let's continue, please. Please, can you see my screen again? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now I want to do calculation here. For example, I want to do arithmetic operation in terms of addition. So 6 plus 13 is what? 19. So now I have my result here. Okay. And I can also do 14 minus maybe 15, for example. I have the result as -1. All right. You can do the same thing here, but here you'll be able to save your result later. All right. That is 16. So I run it here and I get the result. So that is for addition and subtraction. But for the multiplication, okay, so you are going to use this sign for multiplication. So you are not going to use this sign for multiplication in any programming language, okay? So it is only this sign that you will use for multiplication. So let's see it. So now I want to multiply 4 by 5, for example. All right. So then I run it. Now I have 20 as my result. So for example, I can also say what is -1 times maybe -5. Everybody will say the answer is 5, right? Now I get the answer as 5. So that is how to do simple addition, subtraction, and multiplication in R programming. Okay, so now if we want to do exponentiation, we have 2 raised to the power 3. We know that the answer is 8. So how do we do that? So we are going to use this sign called caret. Okay, this sign called caret. So how do you get it? So on your Windows, you press Shift and what's the sign? Shift and 6 to get it on Windows. Okay. So also the same thing with Mac. So let's see, 2 raised to the power 3. Okay, and then you run it. Now the answer is 8. You can actually use big number, for example, what is 1000 raised to the power 7? All right, run it. Now you have the answer as 10 raised to the power 21. Okay, great. Now, if we want to do square root, okay, so we have this function as square root, that is SQRT. So we all know that the square root of, okay, I've jumped. Thank you for that. So here, if you want to do, if you want to get the remainder, when you divide 20 by 3, as you know that the remainder of when you divide 20 by 3 is 2. So let's see how we can do that. So in that case, you use 2%, but in Python, you use only 1%. All right. So that is, let's say 20, okay, percent, and 2. Let's see the answer. The answer is 0 because when you divide 10 by 2, there is no remainder. All right, so let's see another one. If you divide 3 by 2, what will you get? The remainder will be what? The remainder will be 1. So that is just it. All right. So now for the square root, as I said before, the function is SQRT. So let's see how we can do that. That is SQRT. Then you put a parenthesis, open parenthesis, and close parenthesis, and put your value there. That is 4, and you get it. So the answer is 2. So if you want to do the square root of 32, for example, SQRT of 32, the answer is what? 5.65. Now you have it. But as you know, for those that are using Python, you can not easily get SQRT except you import maybe a math package or NumPy package. But without here, you can easily get all this function by default. So the same thing with this. If you want to get the square root of 4 raised to the power 2, so you just type this one on your console. That is SQRT raised to the power SQRT 4, then raised to the power 2, and the answer will be 4. Oh my God. Okay, good. So how do we comment our code in R? So R uses this hashtag, okay, to make a comment. So why will you need to make a comment? The reason is that comment will allow people to understand your codes, because even you later in the future, you might not remember the reason why you use that particular maybe function or particular syntax. But with the help of comment in that your script, okay, you'll be able to remember it, and other people collaborating or working with you will have better understanding of what you meant in that place. So R uses this hashtag. as a comment. And the other thing is that when you make a comment, R will just ignore that part, so it will not run it. All right. So here now, as you can see, I have 3 plus 4 here, but with an hashtag. So I'll just ignore it. That is why you don't see the answer. But here, if I say 1 plus 4, okay, and I put a comment sign here, I added 1 and 4 together. So R will give me the result of this guy, that is 1 plus 4, which is 5, but ignore this. But you that are accessing my code, we have the understand that, okay, this is to add 1 and 4 together. I hope you understand that. So let's see it in practice, for example. Let's see it in practice. So let's say that I want to, for example, I have this plot function. So in case you want to get the history from her, so you have been running something since the morning, but I want to recall a code, that is how to plot a particular visualization. So to recall it back, to get the history back, you can just come to your console here and press the up arrow button. So I want to be fast so that I can get it. As you can see, this is what I want to get. So I have recall it back. I want to copy it to my script. All right, then I paste it. Then I put an hashtag here saying that this plot is scatter diagram. Is scatter diagram. Scatter diagram, and that is it. So if I run this guy now, okay, so automatically I have this. But this guy will remind me that this function is used to plot a scatter diagram in R. I believe you understand it by now. Okay, great. So now, what is variable and how do we assign a particular value to a variable in R? So here, a variable allows us to store a value or an object in R. So variable will help you to access that particular object later without you need to start typing again. So here I have this guy, Olawale, okay, as my variable, and I assign this value to it. This sign is called an assignment sign. So in Python, you can just use ordinary equality sign. But here in R, we prefer that you use this sign. Although you can use the equality sign, it will still work, but we prefer, because when we see your code, we say, wow, you are a good R programmer because of this guy. But if you don't do it, I will just laugh at your code, say, wow, your code is smelling, come on. All right, so let's see how we can do that. So I come to my source here, all right. I just say, for example, I have a friend called Linda. Okay, so Linda is 16 years old. All right, so I can just run it. Now I have this variable here. So if I want to get what is assigned in Linda, I will just type the name of that variable, that is Linda. So then I run it. As you can see, I have assigned this value 16 to Linda. So anytime I want to get that object back, I'll just type the name. Okay, Linda. Now I have it. And I can also use this variable to do maybe further calculation. Let's say I have another friend called Alima. Okay, so I want to add the age of Alima and Linda together. So now I have Alima. Okay, so her age is she is maybe 17, a year older than Linda. So therefore, let me run it. Now I have Linda and Alima together now. So now let us now add it together. That is Linda plus Alimat. You know the answer already, right? So the answer is 33. So when you add 16 and 17, the answer will be 33. So 16 is being assigned to Linda and 17 assigned to Alima. So when you add the two together, you have this result. So let's continue. So the same thing with this. So we have X to be 3, Y to be 4, and Z to be 10. Now we want to do, further calculation by using these variables. So here we have X plus Y, which is 7, Z minus X minus Y, which is this, X minus times Y, which is this, and Z raised to power X which is this. I believe you know how to do that. All right, so how do we name a variable in R? So naming a variable must follow a particular convention. As you know that you will say that in Yoruba, sorry, that orúkọ tá bá pọmọ, orúkọ tá bá sọmọ là ń pe ọmọ. So a name given to a person is what we call that person. So R obeys those rules. So the first thing in naming a variable is that all variables must begin with a letter of the alphabet. So that one is sure. It's a must for you to follow. So you cannot just name a variable or start naming a variable with number. So R will throw an error. So now after the initial letter, variable names can also contain underscore or a period. I will show you how to do it. In fact, I have a case study here. So when you do that, so we are saying that there should not be any space or any special character. So here now, as you can see, we have special character here. That is why this naming is not good. In fact, I will throw an error. It will not work. Here we have a space, okay, because it doesn't follow all the naming convention. So we are also saying that R is case sensitive. So uppercase and lowercase are different. So this also common in both Python and R. Okay, so here now, as you can see, this one follows the naming convention. We have an alphabet. Okay, you can start with capital letter, you can start with small letter, whatever, it will work. But here, as you can see, here we are having parentheses, and this is a special character here. So here we have underscore. So R allows for that. But here we have a space. As you can see, we have been told that there should not be any space when we are naming a variable. So here we have alphabets, okay, as you can see, term, then two being joined together, two joining it, which is fine, okay, because you can also include a number to a variable, but don't start with number, all right? So this one is not acceptable. All these ones here are not acceptable, and these ones are acceptable. So let me show you in practice. Let me clear my console by pressing Ctrl L. Here I have Ade, okay. Ade is fine. So now I have maybe Ade is 13, for example. This is a good naming variable. All right, but if I say Ade, maybe a space, okay, and put one here, and I say it's equal to 17, for example, you see, I will get an error. Unexpected numeric constant in adding one, so it's not allowed. But if I come here and just remove the space and add it together, okay, it will accept it. Now you see how you can follow those naming convention. So if you are just starting learning maybe this programming for the first time, or you have not, learned any programming before, so you can try to understand it. All variable must begin with a letter of the alphabet. After the initial letter, variable names can also contain underscore or a period. Okay, it can also contain numbers, as you saw in that example. And there should not be any space, no special character. And therefore, uppercase is also different from lowercase. So let me show you what that one is talking about. So here I have a day, okay, to be, all right, let me remove all that I have since morning. Remove list is equal to ls, so that I will not have any object in my environment. So I have destroyed everything in my environment. As you can see now, everything is empty here. So I want to show you this one. A day, okay, is equal to maybe 17. All right. But now I started with a capital letter, but I want to get the value of a day. Okay, although I will still give me some suggestion, as you can see. So if I use a day, all right, R is telling me, Oga, you type capital A, small d, small e, but you are looking for A. But let's say I'm so stubborn, I don't want to follow the A provided to me by R. So if I click enter here, you see, it's telling me object a day not found. But you can just be saying, but I have a day here, and this another a day. So why is it that I was throwing an error? It's because of the sensitivity of the case that you have here. So that is the main reason why you are having error. Please note about that. All right, so let's just continue. So we have different classes of objects in R. Okay, so we have numeric type. So numeric type, they are just anything number, either float, either number with decimal places, either the one that does not have decimal places, for example, integer. Okay, R we call both of them as numeric. Okay, great. So we also have logical, for example, true or false. Okay, that is Boolean. So R accepts capital letters throughout, as you can see, capital T, capital R, capital U, capital E throughout. Okay, don't forget. For example, if you are coming from Python, you always commit this error. All right, just note it. So we also have a character type, okay, which is also called string. For example, something like maybe, for example, words, okay, that will be character. For example, Linda, okay, as you can see, it's full of text. So I will call it a character object. So I also have a factor data type. So those are the categorical variable where we have each category as a level. All right. So let's see how we can use them in practice. So now I have this variable X and I assign 5 to it. And I'm looking for the class of this object X, as you can see. So if you type this one in your script or console, I will return numeric. So let me just show you. So henceforth, I will be using my slide because it's the same thing. All right, so let's see. Let's say I have K, where K is constant. Don't mind me. K, okay, is equal to 3. Now you just ask for the type of that object. So K, we use this function called class to get the class of that object. As you can see, R is telling me numeric. But if I just say G is equal to maybe 1.4, okay, and I ask for the class of G, okay, R will still return numeric. Okay, great. So let me be using my slide henceforth. So here I have a character data type because I put it in quotation. So every character data type must be put in quotation. So in Python, they call it string. But here, I will call it character. So as you can see, I say X is equal to Chinazo. What is the class of X? So R returns character. So for the logical, which is true or false, okay, we just say X is equal to true. And what is the class of X? R will tell me it is logical. Okay, logical is the same thing as Boolean. And don't forget the capitalization of the stuff. If you use small capital T, small R, small U, small E, R will throw an error. So let's see that one because I don't have it in my slide. So let's say I have D. Okay, it's like this, as you can see. So automatically R corrected it for me, but let me just say, no, don't correct it for me, please. I know what I'm doing. As you can see, it's telling me object true, not found. But let's say I allow R to correct this for me. So now I have D. I assign true to D, and then when I look for the class of D, so R will just tell me it's logical. All right. The other thing is that if you put it in quotation, so R will see it as a string, as a character. So let's say class D. All right. As you can see, it has been turned to character data type because of this quotation. So you need to understand the difference between those stuff. All right. So I talk about a categorical variable, which I'll see it as a factor. Okay, so how do we get that categorical variable? We soon get there, so don't worry about what I have here. So I have, as you know, that gender, Nigeria assume that gender is male and female, and we all believe that. Thank you. So now I have gender to be male, female, female, male, and so on. Let's say this is Ezekiel, this is Alimat, this is Linda, and this is Chinazo. So I have this as their gender. Okay. Now I ask for the class of gender. So initially, I will see it as character, but with the help of this function called factor, okay, and I put everything there, so it will now turn to a factor data type. So if I want to get the level is just that, okay, how many categories are there? As I said before, that Nigeria said that gender is male or female. Anything from that, you go to the court of law. All right. So now I have female and male. All right. Okay. Do we have any question? Can someone help here? What do you need, please? Fola Shewa. Okay, it has been resolved. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
It has not yet been resolved. I wrote rows less than minus 40 and Linda less than minus 3. And for me to check to make some calculations on it, kept on telling me object not found.
Yeah, I think I've said that. Maybe the nature of your variables. So let's say you use capital letter, and you're supposed to use, let's say you use small letter, and your own typing, you now use capital letter, you will get an error.
I use small letter, sir.
All right. So what did you press? Let me type it here on my console here so that I can help you.
Rows.
Rows.
Yes, small letter. Then out.
Minus, yes.
Out minus, then 40.
40, yes, you run it.
And then I wrote class, open bracket, rows.
Open bracket, rows like this.
Class, then rows.
Okay.
For me to check this.
Class. Oh, okay, thank you. Close. Then you type rows here.
Then rows.
Yeah,
and set object not found.
Yeah, look at your variable name. Look at it very well. Thank you. So you see what you have done wrong. Okay. Thank you so much for that. All right. So let's continue class. Great. So now we also have data structure in R. So we have this as data structure. First of all, we have vector, we have matrix, we have data frame, and we also have list. So now we have used vector before, but now let's start learning vector. So vector is a collection of elements of the same class. Okay, vector is a collection of elements of the same class. So imagine as a teacher, you want to record the ages of your students. Okay, you know, you cannot just be saying X, maybe Shola is equal to 17, Bidemi is equal to 19, Adekunle is equal to 41, and so on. No, that will be too tiresome. All right. So how can we combine them together and have just one object? And each element in that object will be the age of those students. So in that case, we use vector. So how do we use vector in how? Let's continue. So to use a vector in now, we are going to, first of all, vector is a one-dimensional array, okay? It can hold numeric data, it can hold character, it can hold logical and many other atomic objects in R. So now to create a vector data type, so you are going to use this function called C. Don't forget, it's small letter C. Don't use capital letter C. If you use capital letter C, R will throw an error. So here I have numeric vector, okay? And I put my assignment, that is equal to, then I use this function, that is C, and all the elements that I want to put in that vector, I put it here. And then I will get the answer. The same thing with this. So let's say if I can copy it, I will be very happy. Can I copy? All right. No. Okay. I don't know why I cannot copy, but let me just show you what I'm talking about. All right, let's say I have age of students in my class. All right, to be, let's say 12, 7, 14, and 15. All right, so just run it. I have this. And then, so as you can see, this is a vector data type. Okay, if I call the age now on the console, I have all this. So the one that is shown here means that the first element here. So this one, okay, represent the first element, as you can see. But let's say you have many elements in a vector. Okay, so all this will allow us to quickly see the position of that element. So let me show you what I'm talking about so that you can understand it better. Let's say I have, let's say I want to create the money that each of my families are, let's say I have, don't worry about this function, please. 1 to, let's say, 1,000. Okay, great. 1 to 1,000. So I run it. Option, control, option. Okay. Command enter. Now I have this. So now if I look for money now, you see, I have like 1,000 elements in that vector. Now, if I want to get the position of, let's say I want to get the position of this, as you can see, R is telling me this is 13. Okay, and then I can continue to see the other element. I will know this is position 14 and so on. So if you say you don't understand this, let me change this guy to maybe to increase it by 5. And that one will give us a better understanding. Okay, great. So now I have this, as you can see, the first element here, okay, is 1. So here now, this one is telling me the 16th element is 76, as you can see. So with the help of this, I will know this is 17, this is 18, and so on. Don't forget that. So here we have position 151 is 751. Okay, so that one will enable me to know that this is in position 152 and so on. Please, they've taken away our light. Let me just open my windows. The heat is too much for me. Sorry, please. All right. Yeah, they just brought it back. Thank you. They brought the light now. Okay, great. So let's continue. So we now know how to create a vector in R. So we can create a vector with the help of this C function, that is concatenate function. So this C means we are concatenating 12, 14, and 15 together. So it is a common practice after you put an element, then just have one space, a space, so that your element will not be, jam packed together. So you are going to use a space to do that. All right, so that was I explained here, that adding a space behind the commas in the concatenate function improve the readability of your code. As you can see, my own is readable. Linda, Sarah, Wura, Shola, Olalekan, and so on. So sometimes you might want to name each element in your vector. So now I have these 6 tags, 140,000, 200,000, 600,000, and so on. So I want to know the name of this element. So which day did the government or anybody working in taxation office or company, okay, realize this amount? All right. So now with the help of this function called names, so this is how you do it. After you have created a vector, all right, you use this function called names, and you put the name of the variable there. I will now create another vector. This is a vector. This is a vector. So you now create another vector. So each of these elements will correspond to this. So here I have this as a result. So now I know that, okay, this company realized maybe 140,000 USD on Monday, 200,000 USD on Tuesday, and so on. All right, so that is how to name your vector. And the good thing about a vector is that you can perform operation, okay, because R also obeys vectorization of the elements. So how do we do that? So first of all, you create a vector, another vector, then you can now do your operation. Here now I have A as this, B as this. So I want to create C, which is the addition of A and B, and I can do it in this way. So I get this as my result. So when we create a vector, how can we maybe extract a particular element out of that vector? So that is what this square bracket is all about. So we use this square bracket, okay, to get the element out. This is the position. So the index of R, okay, starts with 1, while Python starts with 0. So if you are coming from Python, don't forget that our index in R starts with 1. So I have this, let's say I have my vector as this, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if I want to get the position of these 2, I'm going to use A square bracket, then that position, because this position is 2, I just put 2 there, and this 2 will come out. So here I have this vector as B. So let's say I want to get the position of the third element, this one here. So I just say B, then put square bracket, put the index there, that is 3, and this 8 will come out. That is what we are having here. That's what we are having here. I hope you understand it, but let me show you in practice because I don't have that again. So I want to access this second element. So because this vector is one-dimensional array, I'll just use A, then the square bracket. The position of this element is 2. So I put 2 here, and I get, oh, sorry, I was supposed to use age. Now I have this as my result because the position of 14 is 2. So if I want to get the position of the last element, that is 3, I'll just put 3 here, and I have the result. Okay, great. So do we have any question? Really? Something must be wrong somewhere. Okay. Can you copy this and paste in the console? Oh, okay. Thank you, Olawale, for that. All right. So I believe this one will work. Let me also copy it here so that you will believe that we are not doing magic here. All right. So now I pasted it here. I run it one by one. That is okay. I run it again, and I have the result. So anyone that is having that challenge to look at how he or she, okay, assign that value to that variable. Okay, I think I've talked about vector selection, how you can access a particular element from a vector. Okay, I have this group work. So if you are able to do it, that is fine for me. So I have this vector A, and I want you to tell me what this guy will bring out. So we have A greater than 3. Okay, A greater than 3. This one will just be returning true or false, and we can now use true or false to extract those elements out. So that is it. I believe you might have practiced this before because you have access to this material before. So now we can also create some special vector in R. So here now, instead of saying 1, 2, 3 to 10, okay, I can just use this sign, this colon sign, okay? So it will take it from 1 to 10. So let me copy it and show you in my R console. Okay, so let me paste it. So I have this. So let me look for what is in A. As you can see, I have 1 to 10. So instead of saying A, because they are sequential, okay, I have this, concatenate. Instead of doing like this, 1, 2, 3, and so on. No, okay. You can actually use this colon sign, and it will do it for you. The same with this one as the version, maybe from 10 to 1, and to do that. So another function that is good, okay, in creating a vector of numeric type is this sequence. So SEQ, that is sequence. So we are creating a sequence. I believe all of us did arithmetic progression in our high school. So now we have 1 to 6, okay? We are saying that the difference is 2, that is increase each of these elements by 2, okay? Start with 1 and end with 16. So now we have 1, 3, 5, and so on. So that is what this one will do for us. So here, the increment, that is the difference, is 0.1. So this one will be 1, it will be 1.1, 1.2, and so on. Here we have a negative sign, so it will decrease from 20 to maybe to 1. Okay. Okay, then this sequence function also have this argument, all right? Here we have 5, we have by 2, and length 15. So let me show you what that one will do for us, because we always use it to generate number. That is a simulation in statistics. So let's see. All right, put it in my console. All right, enter. So what is happening here? What's happening? I have 5. Okay, by that is 2, and the length is 50. So here I will start with 5. By that is the difference. So just increase it by 2. So I have 5, 7, 9, and so on. But make sure that the length of all the elements is 50. So that is what we are having here. So if let's say I create a vector for this, let me recall what I have in my memory. I'll call this guy as, what should I call it? Maybe number of COVID-19 that we have in Nigeria. For example, let's say COVID-19. Okay. Good. So now if I have for the length, so I'll ask this function called length to know the number of elements in that vector. So I have COVID-19. All right, great. You can see the length of all the elements here is 50. So that is how this sec, that's what it does. So you can even ask for more help by using question mark and sec. Okay, and press enter. So you can read about it. Another function to create a vector data type is replicate. So now we are saying that we are replicating 5 in how many times? 10. So this one will just be saying 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 to how many times? 10 times. So let me show you. Let me show you for the last time because you have access to this material already. Oh my God. Okay, great. So Control C. Let me clear this guy. Control L rather, and paste it. Run it. Now as you can see, 5, 5, 5. So if I want to make noise about my friend Alimat, because Alimat is a string data type, I just come here. That's the character data type. I just say Alimat. Okay, Alimat is my very good friend. So I want to shout her name 1,000 times. Alimat, are you there? As you can see, this is Alimat. Alimat in 1,000 times. Okay, so another function, replicate also, extend that function like this now. So I have 1 to 4. So I'm saying that replicate each of them in 3 times. Okay, don't forget 1 to 4 here means 1, 2, 3, 4. So in that case, every element here, that is 1 will be repeated 3 times, 2 will be repeated 3 times, 4 3 times, and so on. So you can just try it out. So this is a group work. Okay, you can do it and tell us what you have. Okay, I also have this assignment for you, so you can just do it. Now we have matrices. Don't be afraid of matrices operation. Okay, I will make it so easy for you. And let me check my time. Okay, great. So now, matrix is a 2-dimensional array. Okay, it's a 2-dimensional array. So we have row, we have column. For example, now this is an example of matrix. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3. Let me see. Okay, great. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as the elements of this matrix. So how do we assign matrix in R? So you use this function matrix, okay? And the vector that have the elements for that matrix is what we put here. The n row is the number of rows in that matrix. We also have n col, that is n column, number of column in that matrix. Okay, you can put it here. And we have by row. By row, don't mind me, I put T here. So we can also use T as a logical data type, but don't always do this, please. So I'm supposed to use that logical data type, that is capital T, capital R, capital U, capital A. So So this by row, that is the arrangement. So I'm saying that please arrange all these elements row wise. So first of all, distribute it row wise. As you can see, this is row and this is column. So distribute it row wise. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you know that the dimension of this matrix is what? 3 by 3, right? Yeah, 3 by 3. So we have 3 rows and 3 columns. So let me copy it so that you can see what it is, and then I can correct my error. It's not an error, but I call it error. So let's say n call. Okay, that is 3, and then don't forget to put comma here. If you don't put comma here, it will throw an error. So we have true here. Okay, now I can just run it. So this is matrix A. Let me clear my screen. Then you can just look for A, and then you have this. Okay, so to get the dimension of this matrix, you just type DIM, that is dimension. Okay, put the variable there, and you have that is 3 by 3. I believe you know it now. So let us create another matrix called B. It is important we understand all these data structure because it will help us in our data analysis, not about maybe mathematics or maybe statistics. So let's see this. Let's say I want to create a matrix that is 2 by 2, right? So this is will be my vector. So I have, let's say I have 1, maybe 0, and 0, 1. That's an identity matrix. And let me ask for the value. See, now as you can see, I have this as this. So now let me add by row to it and see what will happen. By row is true. Okay, so let us run it. Command, all right, B. You may not know what is going on here, but so let me just say true. Let me put this one as false. Now we see the difference. False. Okay, okay. Okay, something is happening here because this is an identity matrix. But let me just change the guy here. Let's say I have 2 here, I have 3 here, and I have 4 here. Okay, so I have this. As you can see, this is 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay, so I have by row to be false. Now let me now change that by row to be true. By row to be true. So let me run it now. So you see the difference in those by row equal to true and by row equal to false. As you can see now, the difference is that the arrangement when matrix is distributing all these elements, okay, is following by row. That is, do it row wise. So I have 1, 2. When that one runs out, then another row we start. That is 3, 4. So that is why by row is important. So you know what you want to get your matrix, and make sure you use the right argument. All right, I will not bore you much with the matrix. Okay, so I've already mentioned about all this. So this is just about the collection, you know, the elements in that vector, by row what it does, n row, n call, what it does. So I have this group work. So I say that construct a matrix with 3 rows containing the number 1 to 5 and fill it column wise. So you might be asking, we have by row. What about by column? So there is nothing called by column, okay? So we can use this by row to do the true. So for by row, just assign true to it. So maybe by column, just turn this guy to be false. And that in that case, you have it by column. So I have another one here. So as you can see, this is it. I have another matrix B. So this is it. So how do we access a particular element from a matrix? So number one is that matrix, as I said before, is a two-dimensional array. So therefore, to access any particular element from that matrix, we are going to use a square bracket. Then you have to put the position of the row and the position of the column that that element belongs. So let's see this guy, for example. So I have this as an example, that is matrix B. So you see that in this case, I have 2 here. So this one is in column 1, and this one is in row 1. That is why when you want to access this, you just say B square bracket 1, 1. In fact, R has even helped you to do that. As you can see, just follow this guy, 1, 1. So for D, just say 1, 2, and you have access to this. For 10, you just say B square bracket 2. What is the column? 2, that is 2, 2. And that is how you have access to any element in that matrix. So we can also do arithmetic operation in matrix. Okay, so you can do addition. So just use this sign, addition. Use this sign for subtraction. Use this guy. This one is for multiplication. You know that the difference when we're in school, we have special operation for multiplication. So don't just use ordinary multiplication sign without this all this what do you call it, percentage sign. Okay, if you do that, I will just multiply it row wise for you, or multiply it element by element. So if you don't use this what do you call it, percentage sign, I will do it element wise for you. But if you do it in this case, I will give you proper multiplication. That is what you call a vector multiplication or dot multiplication. So we have a transpose. So just use this sign, this function, that is T, the name of that matrix, and you get the transpose. Transpose is just arranging element, you have this, so it will now be doing it column wise. For example, we have it row wise, 1, 7, 3, and for transpose it will now be 1, 7, 3, 3, 9, 15, 5, 11, 17. Determinant, if you are interested in getting determinant of a matrix, you use this det function, det. So let me see what we have in the chat before we move to the right. I can't wait to have the recorded video of this. You are really making R look like 1, 2, 3. Exactly. R is very simple. In fact, I'm so lucky to have my Oga in this webinar. That is Dr. Garuba. Thank you so much, sir. I can see you. Thank you so much. He was the one that taught me R programming when I was in school. I'm so happy you are here. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so that is det. That is the, so to get an inverse of a matrix, you use solve. That is SOLVE. So I don't have that example here, but for the time for inverse, you use SOLVE. Now, because the purpose of this our learning of learning R is to be able to maybe analyze data, and since morning we have not even touched any data analysis. So therefore, welcome to data frame. So what is a data frame? Data frame is another way to put data in a table. We have matrix already. Now data frame also is in two-dimensional array, okay? And you can have different data types. So data frame has a variable as a column and the observation as row. You know that in your Excel, when you open an Excel, so the column will represent the variable in your data set, and the row will represent the observation in your data set. That is the same thing with data frame in R. For people coming from Python, you also know that we have data frame. Thank you. So to create a data frame, so we are going to use this function called data.frame. All right. And the good thing about data frame is that every vector you put in this data frame will represent the column for that data set. So what am I talking about? Right, look at this one here. I have a data frame, okay? I don't name it though. So, but later you see how I can do that. So I have this as a vector. Don't forget that this is a vector, right? We have vector from 2 to 4, and we call it A. and we have another vector from 5 to 7. We call it B. And so we use this operation on them, and now we have a data frame. So let me show you how it really looks like in R. Okay, great. Command C. All right, let me use my R script to do that. First of all, I want to clear my console by using Control L, and come here, press Control V. Then now, just say my data, for example. Let's call it data. All right, assign it to data. So let's run it. So now to know what is in data, okay, just type data, and you have your data frame. So this is data frame now. So how can we view it in an Excel way? How can we do that in an Excel way? So you just use this function called view, capital V, and then put the name of the variable there, and you run it. Now I have this, okay, as my data frame is very small. Now let us play with some, okay, before that, let's see how we can do another one. All right, so let me explain what we have here. Now the label, the row label, okay? 1, that is the first row. So we have 2 and 5. In the second row, we have observation 3 and 6. In the third row, we have observation 4 and 7. While A is the first variable, okay? So let me use another one. Let me come here. Okay, let me call this one 1, 2, 3, 4. What can I represent that? Let's say COVID-19 cases. Is it okay? Good. COVID-19 cases. COVID-19. Yeah, great. COVID-19, that is 2 and 4. Nigeria asked the first time 2, second time 3, third time 4, and it goes up like that. So for this guy, let me change this guy to the gender of those people that have COVID-19. Gender, don't forget gender is a character data type. So therefore, everything I want to put there will be in character. So now, how many elements? That is 3. So I say the first person is a male, okay? The second person is a female, and the third person is a male. All right, great. So now I can just run it by using Command Enter, and then call it out. What is it? Now I have my data frame here. Okay, let me see what I can do with my data frame. Okay, I also have another example here. So I have gender, I have age. Okay, I think I've done that already. So as I said before, we can simulate data in R. So here I have a function set.seed. So if you use this thing, anything I have in my data frame, you also have it. But first of all, we create 2 vectors. The first vector is height, and we have this rnorm, that is generate a random normal data for me, data that follow a normal distribution. The number of the sample is 100. Make sure that the mean is 135 and the standard deviation is 12. Don't worry if you don't understand what is a normal distribution. For those people in statistics, mathematics, maybe computer science, they will understand data. But don't worry. The purpose of this example is just to create data that we can use and see what data frame looks like. So therefore, I have this height, okay, as my vector, and this weight as my vector. All right, let's see what will happen. Okay, I ask, in fact, it's your own group work to create a data frame out of it. So how can I create a data frame out of it? Let me copy it. Oh God, copy it. Let me copy it. Command. Okay. Oh my God. I'm sorry, please. All right, Command C to copy, go to my script, paste it. So I told you set.seed is to have the same data, that is to have the same data. So I run it. So here I have my height. Okay, I have my height to be this vector. I have this to be this vector weight, okay? So now to create a data frame, So what you do is that you first of all name that data, okay, because you have to put it in a variable. Don't forget, we've already learned how to create a variable in R. So I can just say this is my, let's call it my thesis data, for example, thesis, okay, thesis data. So I can name it anyhow I like, since I know how to name a variable in R. So I can just say data.frame. All right, so what am I putting here? I will put my vector, that is height. I then comma another vector that I want weight, okay, weight. All right, weight. So now if I run it now, so by pressing Control Enter, then what is my data? Thesis data, okay, run it. Now you see, I have my data frame now. So now if I call on view on it, so just to see it in an Excel way, that is thesis data. As you can see here now, I have it now in a data frame. So you see now, so this is the first variable, this is the second variable, and all these are the observation. So let's say I want to assign a gender to my random data here. So what can I do? I can just come here and say that just say gender, okay, gender. Okay, so I'm going to use replicate as I taught you before. So replicate, what am I replicating? I want to create gender, all right? So just say maybe male, it's a string data type, it's a character data type, okay? And female, so therefore each of them, please make it 50. Each of them, what is it? Is 50, yeah, 50, yeah, 50. Okay, so let's see what will happen. Let me run this guy first. Now, let me see what is in my gender, because I must have the same number of observation in every column. So therefore, I'm happy. This is 100. As you can see, this is 97. This is 98. This is 90. This is 100. So now I want to join this guy to my data frame. Okay, so I just come here. Where is it? I come here to my data frame here and just press comma and then type gender. So now I now have 3 different columns in my thesis data. Okay, so that is why you see I have it now. See, I have male, female, and so on and so forth. So, and to get it in an Excel way, you can even come here. Where is it? Yeah, you can just click here. Instead of typing view, just come to your environment here and look for the object and get it. Okay, so let's see what we have in the slide again. Okay, so now let's say we want to get a glimpse of our data. So how can we do that? Let's say I have a big data set, maybe 1 million rows. If I do that, let's say I just view all of them at once, it's possible my computer gets, crashed. All right, but with the help of head and tail, head, we just show maybe the first 5 observations, tail will show the last 5 observations. So don't forget head and tail, head and tail. This is not probability, please. Just for us to see the first overview of our data set. So I can just say head, what? I want to see the first what? First 7, okay? I can just run it. Now, as you can see, this is my first 7th observation. Maybe this is Olawale, this is Alimat, this is Lekan, this is Chimaoge, this is Michael, this is Saka, okay? And this is Fatai. Oh, sorry, Saka cannot be a female. This is, who else do I have as friend? This is Nimat. And here I have this as Saka. All right, that's how to get the head, the first, maybe 7. If you don't put that 7 there, automatically R will give you the first 6th observation. So to get the last, maybe 7th observation, you use the tail, as I said before. So that is thesis data. All right, and then press maybe 8 to see the last 8 observation. Now you press Command Enter, or you press Control Enter on your keyboard. Now I have this. Okay, good. That's how to do that. So when you get big data, don't just open everything at once. So now, let's say we want to see the structure of our data set. So what are the data type in those columns? And I want to just see the number of observations in that and the data structure. How do we do that? So with the help of structure, that is str function. So the str function will tell us the total number of observations we have in that data frame, the total number of variables we have, maybe the full list of variables, and the first observation. Let's see it in action. Oh my God, sorry. Let's see it in action. Let's see it in action. Let's see it in action. All right, I'm just coming here and just type str. Okay, that is to see the structure. Put the name of your data there, that is thesis data, and run it. Now, as you can see here, now I have 100 observations and 3 variables. So this means that my data has maybe 100 samples and just 3 variables. And I can see the list of my variables. I have height, which is a numeric data type, weight, which is a numeric data type, and I also have gender, which is a character data type. And I can see the first, 5th observation, as you can see here. This is it now. So this one will help you to quickly see the overview of your data sets. So let me see if you have any question on the chat area. Okay, no question for now. Thank you. All right. Okay, I've shown this before. Now, I also have some inbuilt data sets, and we can easily access them. For example, if you want to know, let's say you want to use different data sets, so you can just use this function called data sets. Okay, data sets, I think something like this. Let's see. Let's see if it works. Okay, great. It's not working, but let's see this if it work. Like this will work. So without putting anything there, so just run it. So automatically I will open another is it a script? Yeah, just to see. Okay, so now you will see that we have different data sets, and here are the description of that data set. So we have air passenger, we have BOD, we have orange. So I've seen this orange before. So let's first see how we can access this orange data set. Okay, so to do that, you can just come here and say, you can even type orange because they are inbuilt data sets. So now you see, we have tree, age, and circumference. So if you want to know more information about this data, you can just come here and use question mark and just type orange. So help menu will come out, and then you're able to see better description of your data set, of the inbuilt data set you have in R. Additionally, when you install a package in R, there are some data that comes with that package, okay? And you can easily have some access to some of them. Let me see. If you don't want to open this guy, okay, you can just use this. There's a package called dataset. So everybody has it by default. So I will tell you what this double column means later, if you have time for that. So now we have all these data coming out to us. Now you can just take any of them. And for example, everybody always talk about iris data set. R also has iris data set. So you see now, if I run it now, I have iris data set. So you know that our iris has variable called sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and species. And because I'm familiar with data set, I know that it has 150 observations. Okay, 50 for setosa, another 50 for vesicular, or what does it call? Vesicular, and another 50 for vaginica. Okay, so you can just play with it. You can look for the head, you can look for the tail, you can also look for the structure, and you can access, maybe the first, 5th element, and so on and so forth. So with the help of what you learn in that matrix. So for example, let's say that I want to access Okay, let me call this guy, call it data iris, for example. Okay, if I run it now, so as you can see, I have saved this iris to this. If I want to get, I want to get the fifth observation, the first fifth without using head. Okay, or let's say I want to get the first two observations and I want to get the first two columns. Don't forget that a data frame is a two-dimensional array. So we just come here, okay? So the number of observations that will be in the first, let me separate it with comma. So the number of observations will be here. The number of columns will be here. So here now, I want to, let's say I want to get the first fifth observation. And also I want to get, let's say I want to get just two columns. So the first two, that is one, the first column and the second column. So just come here and press 2 and let's see what will happen. You see, so that's how to, so this one is like, if you are coming from Python, you know what is called .loc and .iloc, okay? It's just in that way, all right? So that's just it. But if I don't know if we can do that one today. Okay, we also have better way of doing this. So by the help of all these select function from dplyr package. Okay, see, let me see what I have in my script. Okay, we have just like 20 minutes, but I want to teach us how we can import data. So therefore, let me quickly go to my second slide so that you can learn much from this. I believe that what I have shown before, you know about it because I have given you our video, our YouTube video. I've given you the slide. So this one is just like a revision, but this one may be very new to some of you in this training. So here I'll be talking about R Studio, R package, and R project. So what is R package? All right. So R package is just a collection of R functions that extend the functionality of R. Okay, as you can see since morning, I've not installed any package, I've not loaded any package. Reason is that I've been using what is called base functions. That is why, you see, this base here is the name of that package. Okay, and this double colons here is that I don't want to load this package, but what I need is that I just need a function out of this package. So that is why I have this. You will understand it better when I continue. Okay, a package can contain a set of functions relating to particular topics. For example, we have data wrangling packages like tidyr, janitor, and so on. Okay, and we also have some exploratory data analysis packages like ggplot2, plotly, data explorer, and so on. So let's see how we can do that. So the location where all the package is stored, okay, is called library, okay, and that we have CRAN. So if you want to install a package, you install it through CRAN, and CRAN is Comprehensive R Archive Network. So that is, it's like a big repository that you can install any package that is being published. All right. So to install a package in R, you are using this function called install.r packages, and then you put it in a quotation. This package, this what is here is the package name. So as I said before, I've told you to install tidyverse package, and I believe everybody has done that. So there are packages that are not on CRAN. So for example, now I can create a package for my own use, okay, and put it on GitHub. So how can you install any package that is not on CRAN, but on GitHub? For example, FACA. I don't know if FACA has been published on the CRAN, but let's say I have FACA now. Or let's say sometime, maybe the package maintainer has not published the latest update, has not pushed the latest update to CRAN, okay? Maybe that update is in GitHub, okay? You can quickly install it with the help of dev tool. So I will show you how to do that now. So if you want to do that, you just install this library called DevTools. And then from that, you just say install _ GitHub. This one is the name, the username on GitHub, okay? That is thing card open. Like me now, if I have a package on GitHub, in this case, here you see it as GBG analyst because that is my GitHub username. Now, /FACA. FACA here is the name of the repository. So for example, now I am planning to create a package called string R extension, which will allow you to manipulate any string data. Okay, so that's how to do that. So to load the package that has been installed, so you are using this function called library, then the name of the package. And if you like, you may not put quotation here, it will still work. So let me see if we have any question. Okay, please, are you all enjoying it, or you can just stop now? Is it too fast for you? Is it too much for you, or what? Please let me see the answer on the chat room, please. Can we continue or stop? It's okay, okay? As you stop, right? Okay, continue. All right, thank you so much. I'm also enjoying teaching you guys. Okay, great. So when you use a library like this, okay, so to make all the functions available for you in the R environment. Okay, I've talked about this. So if you want to know the part that package that you install is being stored. For example, I've been seeing people that are saying that access is denied, and somebody tried to help the person in our communication channel that tried to try to give our administrative access, okay? And after that, that thing works. So if you want to know the part that all the packages are being installed or stored to, okay, you can just use this function called .libpath, and you have all these things. So, and then don't by mistake, please go to your document directory and delete what is there. If you do that, all the packages that you have installed, everything will be removed. And when you load any package, it will be telling you an error has occurred. So please be careful. This is always installed under the document. As you see, by default, you see a directory called R in the document. You see a folder called R, and under you see what is this sign? Hyphen. See hyphen? Yeah. When hyphen library. Okay. So please don't come here and delete anything. So otherwise you have to install everything from scratch. So if you want to see all the packages available in your R, okay, you can just use lapply and use this function. Everything, copy it, paste it in your console, and you have all the list of those packages. Okay, don't let me bore you with this. So you know that already you can use library, the name of that library here to load a package. So let's say that you are angry and you want to remove a particular package. So you can just do that by using remove.packages and the name of that package. Please do it with caution. Don't be angry with R. As I said before that, let's say you do want to load the whole package. You just want to use a particular function. Like here now, I just need this guy here called clean name, okay? This clean name is a function under the janitor package. Let me show you by example. Oh my God. All right, let me show you by example. So let me come here, say my thesis data, for example, thesis data, okay. Let me load my library janitor. No, without like janitor. Okay, let me just say library tidyverse because I need a pipe function. Okay, it's loading for me. I am happy. Everything is fine. I clear my screen. All right, I have my data here. So let me show you the head of that, the first fifth observation of my thesis data. Okay, this is data. So as you can see, I have this. Oh, you see what I want to do? No, I want to use iris. Sorry, let me use iris. Iris is a good example to understand what I want to talk about. Okay, now I have this as my iris data. Look at the way my columns, look at how they are being named. That is separ.let. So now there's a function that can help us to clean the variable names. Okay, so now I want to clean everything. I want to clean it so that this dot will be underscore. So let's see how I can do that. So I just come here, but I don't want to load library janitor, but I just want to take a function out of it. So I know the function is called clean names. So I'll just come here, I say iris. Okay, I've not taught you before. There's a function called pipe. That is Command Shift Control. What is it? Sorry, I've forgotten how to do that in Mac. Let me use my desktop. Okay. All right, that is Control Shift M. Yeah, so you use Control Shift M on your Windows. Control Shift M. Yeah. Oh, no. Control Command Shift M. All right. So on Mac, you use Command Shift M to get this pipe function. All right. But what I need is just the janitor function. Janitor. Okay. Then I want to use clean name. So now, and then I just need the head. So Command Shift M. All right. Then I just need head. So this is also an advanced way to just have one line of code that does many things for you. I will explain what I did. Sorry, please. So you see now, see what happened before. So this function called clean names has cleaned my variable names for me. Now you see, before it was separ.length, everything. We have capital S, capital S, but now you see, it has adjusted everything and make it so clean for me. So imagine that separ.length now has a space. Let's say there's a space here called separ space length. Okay, some of us always do that, but in programming, we always like to have something like this. Okay, so now these clean names automatically will clean it for me, whatever. If there's any parentheses on my variable name, automatically it will remove that. All right, don't forget that I did not load this janitor. I only take this function out of it, and I did it with just one line of code. So if I don't want to use this pipe function, I can just say that janitor clean name, that is the name of the function. Okay, I can put iris there. Okay, and then I can just come here and say head. Say head, and then close all the brackets. All right, you see now I have the same thing. So let's say you don't know what is pipe, so you can just do everything like this. I believe we all understand it now. In fact, I was skeptical to join this webinar at first, but I can tell that Ezekiel Ogundepo, his team has done. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been very interesting. Oh, thank you so much for all this good statement. We are so happy. Thank you so much. Let's continue, please. Okay. All right. So I believe you all know, whenever, let's say you are studying a particular code in maybe on the internet, and you see somebody using this colon, so you now understand what that thing means now, right? Okay, great. So I think I've said it before. Now, what is R project? I don't know if you have heard it. Oh, go and use R Studio project. Go and use R Studio project. So the reason why we are using R Studio project, okay, let me close this guy so that I can see what I'm doing clearly. Okay, so let's say now I want to I want to import my data now. All right, so let me create another script. I want to create a new script. Okay, I want to load my data. Number one is that all of us have access to this data. And then I have this data here, as you can see this place. Okay, I have all this data here. Okay, so how can I import this medical insurance data set? Okay, first of all, you say that, okay, I have to assign or make my environment to be in this directory. That's a good thing. It's actually true. It's actually true.
Wow, what an amazing session. Thank you so much, Ezekiel.
Yeah, thank you so much for me.
So we're rounding off soon. Just wanted to quickly appreciate everyone for joining this call and just say that great work by Ezekiel and the team.
All right, thank you. Please kindly give us like 5 minutes so that we round it up. Thank you so much. Okay, now if you want to know the directory or the environment where you are now, you can just use this function called getWD. Okay, getWD will show you the directory. So here now I'm at users/DSN, but understand that my data is under, the desktop. Is under the desktop. Let me minimize. Okay, it's under the desktop. It's under the desktop. I have a folder here. Okay. So, but instead of struggling with, changing my directory to that place, okay, I'll just use R project. So to use R projects, all right, you just come here. Okay. Then, click on File, click on New Project. Okay, it's asking me, I don't want to save. Okay, so because I have that folder already, if you don't have any folder already, you can just click New Directory. But I have a folder, I'll just click Existing Directory, then you browse to that place. It's on desktop, it's on R webinar. Yeah, this guy here. Okay, so I can put it as this, but if I want to be too, go forward, I can just come to my data, but I can easily access it without that. So let's say open. So there I use create. So you see, automatically, you see, look at this place here. I have the name of that project here. And here now, I have the list of what I have in that directory, here, all the files. So I can easily access my data with just a single code. So now let me just show you, before we finish this meeting, show you how to import a particular data. So first of all, create the name of the variable. So just say, I like using data, okay. All right, then, okay, how do we now read CSV? So we have read.csv, okay, we have read.csv. Then you put a quotation mark, all right. Now, if you come here now, with the help of this R project, you don't need to set any working directory. So what you need to do is to look for that data here. Don't forget that there's no data here, but data is from the data folder, okay? So therefore, what we do is just come here, type the name of this folder, okay? That is data, then slash, then open it like this so that you can see the name. That is medical. In fact, if you press ordinary tab, okay, it will show you what is there. As you can see now, I have CSV, and you run it. So if I want to view what I have here, I will just come here, view data. Great, and I run it, guy, and I have my data here with me. And thank you so much for joining this class. We have come to the end of this class. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ezekiel. Thank you, everyone. Please, you can go and follow us on Twitter and tweet your experience on this class. You can just add us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you very much for joining this session and enter the hour. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening.